Good morning and welcome to Daily Tech News with Alan Smithson. This is going to be a great day. Today is Wednesday, April 17th, and there's a lot to cover. We have some fishy news. We've got some stuff out of Adobe. We have iOS putting AI on your phone and a whole bunch more. So let's get into it today. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Check this out. This is my friend Sakar Kaida, and he works for Chanel in their Metaverse XR department. And what he's doing.
Okay.
Oh, good. All right, let's watch that again. What's happening here? Maybe you can guess what's happening here.
Okay. Oh, good. You are cool.
He's swallowing a fish in VR. I don't even know what to say about that. It's just ridiculous. The things you can do in VR that you can't do in the real world are incredible. Okay. The U.S. tech sector job growth. Okay, so if you look at kind of the U.S. tech sector in general, we've had strong growth over the last few years in software, computer systems, design, AI, all of these things. But one thing is kind of strange. Like if you look at 2024, this is the U.S. tech sector job growth. But if you scroll down a little bit to California's sector growth, you'll see an actual decline. And so it appears that I guess maybe woke culture or high taxes, or I'm not sure, maybe a high cost of living is driving the California tech sector to decline. So I thought that was interesting. I will put the notes in the chat as always. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Okay. How does a space cup work? This is a cup designed by NASA so that you could drink liquids in space and the liquids wouldn't just fly everywhere, because in zero gravity, liquids fly everywhere. I don't know if you've ever seen that, where the bubbles of water are just floating around, but here, check it out. This is how a space cup works.
You to drink from an open container in 0G. But how does it work, and why do we need a special shape to drink without gravity? In order to drink from a cup, we rely on the fact that gravity is always pulling things down. So if we want to take a drink, we just have to tip the cup and the liquid pours into our mouth. We can drain the whole cup into our mouth just by tipping the cup more and more. This is all thanks to gravity. But what if there were no gravity? Well, if there's no gravity, that means that there's no down or up. So when you tilt the cup, nothing happens. The water doesn't flow into your mouth. This is the problem of astronauts on the International Space Station. Since they're in orbit, they're continually in 0G. But if they have this cup, then it's no longer a problem. The liquid will climb up the pointy end of the cup and be ready to take a sip. We often take for granted how almost every fluid system we use.
How cool is that? I will leave the description, or the link in the description, because I think it's fascinating, worth watching, how they developed this and all. There's a whole video on it. Okay, over to Adobe. We're thrilled to announce breakthrough generative AI features powered by new Adobe Firefly video model. Take a sneak peek at Object Edition, Object Removal, and Generative Extend, all coming to Premiere Pro. Love it.
By our new Adobe Firefly video model that'll transform how editors work. Object Edition lets you add or change objects and footage with a text prompt. Make a selection, write a prompt, and add anything you can imagine. Object Removal makes selecting and removing objects across frames quick and precise. When your clip is too short and you want to hold on a shot or a character for an extra beat, Generative Extend adds frames with Firefly so you have the exact media you need. And there's more. We're excited about early research explorations with our friends at OpenAI, Runway, and Pika, so editors can use the best model for their project. From OpenAI, here's an example of their Sora model, generating the perfect B-roll for any scene. And we're committed to transparency through content credentials, so you always know whether AI was used and what model was used in the creation of the media you're viewing. It's Adobe Premiere Pro, supercharged by AI.
Okay, that's pretty awesome for Adobe fans around the world. There's a whole article through AI innovations to advance professional video workflows within Adobe Premiere Pro. So there's a whole video on this, and there's more information. I will put the links in the chat as always. Okay, this is neat. This is actually footage from a video game. It's not in VR, but it is a video game nonetheless. Look at the fidelity. I'm not a big fan of guns and shooting. However, the fidelity is incredible. This looks like a real scene. I'm assuming this was maybe scanned and then dropped into Unreal Engine. If anybody knows, let me know, because there was no information on this. But yeah, we'll stop there because I don't want to see people get shot. But anyway, wow, really cool. Over to 2-minute papers. If you don't subscribe to 2-minute papers, I would strongly recommend it. And this is NVIDIA's new AI that can scan your face. Like, Apple's personas, where you take your VR, the Apple Vision Pro, and you scan your face and you become a persona. This is doing it from a single image 75,000 times faster than the fastest model. Not 75 times, 75,000 times. Check it out.
Look at that. Goodness. And the most important of all, of course, does it work on cats? I would say, apart from some minor temporal coherence issues on the fur, there is a little flickering effect that you see as the camera turns around. Apart from that, this is excellent. Wow! And there are previous techniques that took in the order of minutes to give us some of these results that you saw here. So, the new one is much better. Thus, it is much slower too, right? Nope. No, sir. All this runs in a few tenths of milliseconds. So, essentially, it is interactive. So good. So,
wow. I'll leave you with that. Things are happening so fast. Wow. Okay, the reason why we're able to do this is because of the internet. We have connected the global internet, and the internet is actually carried by millions of miles of cables that go under the ocean and connect the continents. And this is an article by The Verge on undersea cables, and there are ships that go around and repair them. So I love how they've built this kind of interactive thing. The fragile wires are constantly breaking a precarious system, which everything from banks to governments to TikTok depends on. But thanks to a secretive global network of ships on standby, every broken cable is quickly fixed. This is the story of the people who repair the most important infrastructure in the world. The cloud under the sea. And there's a whole article here. I won't bore you with the details. I thought the way they designed this article was super cool, because they got this graphic and then, whoa, into the real thing and into a video. So that's really neat. And then they talk about the ship. They talk about the people, beautiful people that are actually doing this work. But check this out. This is optical cables from 1995 to today. Wow, 2007, 2010, 2013, 2017, 2021. So as you can see, we're just building and building and building more and more of these. And I just thought, wow, what a human endeavor. All right, over to a new large language model called Reka. Reka Core, our frontier class multimodal language model. So there's a new model, performance highlights. Core is competitive with models from OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google across key industries, accepted evaluation metrics. Given its footprint and performance on total cost of ownership, Core delivers outsized value. Okay, so how does it rank with other things here? Let's minimize that a bit. There you go. Reka Core seems to hold its own in knowledge, in reasoning, in coding, in knowledge. So you can see the large language models, once the cat's out of the bag, this is going to be a dime a dozen kind of thing. So it's really interesting to see this. And where they kind of have maybe a little bit of advantage over GPT and Opus and Sonnet is perception test, video perception test. So I'm not really sure what they mean by that, but I guess we'll dig into that again. But Reka is a new large language. I want to check it out. Okay, over to video games again. This is a video game, but it's not really a video game. It's just more of a test on physics in a video game, but physics like you've never seen in a video game. I don't know if you ever played Prince of Persia back in the day, the 2D game where you jumped from things and he would jump onto a cliff and then pull himself up. This is that, but in 3D and way better.
Said that nothing's on my phone. Also meditation you do. There's a lot of reaching. But boy, his actions ain't that cool. Said I've been ready, I've seen it all before. No rules on floors in life.
Wow, how incredible is that? Wow, just wow. Okay, so I heard something interesting recently, and let me just zoom in here. Oh, that's not gonna work. Okay, stop sharing that. 1 second here. Yeah, anyway, I'll show you guys tomorrow. I made ChatGPT come up with a graphic for itself and basically describing itself. And it was really interesting. And I'll just read it to you. I said, can you describe yourself in great detail? And it says, as an AI, I don't have a physical form, but I can describe how I function. I said, no, I'm not interested in your capabilities. I want you to describe in words what you think you look like. And it said, visualize a vast library stretching endlessly into every direction, filled with millions of books containing all sorts of knowledge from the world. Each book represents a different piece of information that I've been trained on. They are continuously updated and expanded. In the center of this library, there's a glowing orb of light that pulses softly, representing the core of my AI processing unit. This is where all the computation and thinking happens. And when I prompted it to give me that as a graphic, this is what it came up with here. And this is what I thought was really super interesting, because it described itself, and then here it is, where it is here. Yeah. And then it gave me this graphic. So how cool is this? It's a library of knowledge with a sphere in the middle that looks like the technosphere, if you would. Yeah, this is what ChatGPT thinks it looks like. Super cool. All right, over to Gartner, 3 bold and actionable predictions for the future of generative AI. Gartner's predictions keep IT leaders informed, blah, blah, blah. But let's take a look at what they got here. By 2027, more than 50% of the Gen AI models that enterprises use will be specific to either an industry or business function, up from approximately 1% last year. Okay, so by 2026, 75% of businesses will use generative AI to create synthetic customer data, up from less than 5% last year. And by 2028, 30% of Gen AI implementations will be optimized using energy-conserving computational methods driven by sustainability initiatives. I can't argue with any of these things. They all seem very legit. And if you're a business looking to develop this, I'm part of a thing called Next Collabs. It's a think tank for advanced AI and generative AI for business applications. So reach out to me if you have a need for that and you want some information. I can connect you with the Next Collabs team. Speaking of AI that helps us, Stanford Medicine just released this AI improves the accuracy of skin cancer diagnosis in Stanford Medicine-led study. AI algorithms powered by deep learning improve skin cancer diagnostic accuracy for doctors, nurse practitioners, and medical students. Holy moly. I've known, we've had kind of AI that can look at skin problems and diagnose them as well as humans for a long time. But what they're saying here, that there's an accuracy boost when you do, when you put it combined with doctors. So they said here, they had 12 studies, 67,000 evaluations of potential skin cancers, and the accuracy. So it says here, they found out overall healthcare practitioners working without an aid of AI were able to accurately diagnose about 75% of people with skin cancer. Okay. Conversely, workers correctly diagnosed about 81.5 people with cancer, like skin conditions, but they did not have cancer, a companion measurement. And then when you mix it with AI, it goes up to, where is it here? 81% and 86% specific. So it actually goes up by about 6% and across the board, 6 and 5. And so that accuracy is really, it doesn't sound like a lot, but if you are a patient who is, being studied to see if your skin cancer, a false positive can make you worry and create stress in your life, and a false negative, well, that could be detrimental to your health, obviously. So very cool use of AI there. This is interesting. Global Gen AI smartphone shipment forecast. So right now, if you kind of looked at last year, there was no Gen AI in a smartphone. This year, Samsung's kind of bringing this, and Apple's bringing this as well. And so it's looking to grow at 65% compounded annual growth rate between 2024 and 2027. In 3 years, 65% compounded annual growth rate. And the install base by 2027 for Gen AI on smartphones is expected to exceed 1 billion. So basically everybody in the world is going to have Gen AI on their phone. And this is punctuated by Apple iOS 18. AI will be available on device by preserving privacy and not be on the server side. So expect the large language models will be trained on the cloud in the big servers, and then it will be available on your device, which I think is the right way to do it, because we don't want our data being transferred into large language models forever. So there you go. There's a big article on that. Make sure that's it for today. That's it for Daily Tech News. Make sure you follow me. Here's my link tree. You can learn about all the things I'm doing. Yeah, I had a really great time today, and there's so much good stuff happening in tech. I hope you build for a future we all want and love, and have a great day, everybody. Go get some sunshine, and make sure you spend some time with real people, because We are humans after all. Have a good one. Peace.